Prosper from Pasture is a programme run by Farming Connect that will develop your knowledge and confidence in grassland management. We paid one of our advanced group members a visit to hear of the benefits to his business since enrolling on the programme.
So I'm Aled Evans. I've been part of the Farming Connect Prosper from Pasture Advanced Group for the past 2 years. I farm here in partnership with my brother Iwan, who works off-site. And our main enterprise here at Rest Farm is a dairy, beef rearing and finishing unit. So we'll have up to about 480 cattle on site at any one time. And then we also run a 300U low input outside lambing in April, which consists primarily of Highlander and New Zealand Romney ewes, which are put to a Primera tup. And we also carry a store lamb enterprise. Up to about 1,500 lambs are killed annually, being some purchase store lambs and some on a contract finishing agreement. So as part of the system, in order to reach the desired levels of profitability, across the farmed area we carry about 1,500 kilograms of live weight per hectare, but on the cattle block we'll carry about 2,250 kilograms of live weight during the main grazing season in order to utilise the grass that we grow. So we invested quite heavily in grazing infrastructure back in 2018, having been part of the Master Grass course and met James Daniel from Precision Grazing. So from that point we've gone on to GPS map the farm area, create cells which are about 0.5 hectares, and then we've also put in place some permanent and some temporary electric fencing and some roadways, and that in turn allows us to put in turn an extended grazing season, aiming to have cattle housed for about 90 to 100 days, and then at the shoulders of the season it allows us to get out grazing for a couple of days, meaning that we will make the most of the grass that we grow on site. So on the biggest aim in order to try and reach the levels of profitability that we aspire to is to grow and utilise as much grass as possible. So in 2019 we grew 15 tonnes of dry matter of grass and utilised about 70% of that. So there's scope in there to improve the levels of utilisation to between 70 and 80%. We also try and carry quite a high live weight per hectare in order to give us the output that we need on the farm area. And then we also try and deliver about a daily live weight gain of between 0.8 to a kilo for the cattle. And probably the biggest thing we've learned as being part of the Prosper to Pasture group is to focus on making as much of that daily live weight gain during the summer months on that cheap grazed grass. So we've tweaked the system in the winter months through working with James Daniel to cut out on the amount of expensive purchase concentrates that we use and try and get a bit more compensatory growth when they go out a bit earlier in the spring months. Compared to the same time last year, we're probably down about 1.5 tonnes of dry matter per hectare in growth. Our demand is quite high in the platform, so our demand is about 65 kilograms a day, and the growth in May started off just at the top end of 60s, and then it dropped down to 40s middle of the month, and then down to about 25 kilos by the end of the month. So growth was quite significantly under demand by that point. So we've had to take actions as the business to try and put measures in place to mitigate that. So being a part of the Prosper from Pasture Advanced Group, it's given us an access to work with an experienced group of grassland managers. That's given us the confidence to act on our decisions, to be able to share some of the problems that we're facing. So that includes stuff like gaining a knowledge to a software package called FarmMax. FarmMax has allowed us to have a better handle on what we're growing at the minute and what we're growing as the season goes along. So we use it to influence the number of store lambs that we might buy. Through a dry period we'll use it to run various scenarios to see what impact it'll have on the average farm cover on site if we destock or start feeding a bit of additional dry matter. And it just gives you a peace of mind during what is quite a stressful period with a drought and running with grass growing under what we require on site. It's really been invaluable. So we're hoping to build the sustainability of the business. So we're looking at carrying on growing our own sources of homegrown protein. So we're doing that through red clover, homegrown starches through spring barley. Grazed grass is the cheapest form of feed we've got here in Wales with cost of production. The cost of growing grass will be 5 to 6 pence. So if you can grow it cheaply and utilise it to your maximum potential, it just means that as we've seen over the past year with beef prices in particular being so volatile, by reducing our cost of production through grazed grass, it just helps the sustainability and profitability of the business. So I wouldn't hesitate in recommending the programme to other farmers in Wales.
If you're interested in developing your knowledge of grassland management, there will be another opportunity to apply later on this year. Keep an eye out on our website for further information.